Hello, I'm Claire Kerridge. I'm the Assistant Principal for Inclusion here at Castle Newnham.
And I'm Amril Rubin. I'm the SEN Co at Castle Newnham, the secondary site.
So inclusion is something that's very important to us at Castle Newnham, and we pride ourselves on welcoming everybody here. We have a lot of children who have SEND, and we are very experienced in supporting children with a range of difficulties, whether they have an education, health and care plan or not. So perhaps I'll hand over to you, Mrs. Rubin, to talk about some of the things we have on offer for the pupils who have special needs.
Well, of course, as Mrs. Kerridge said, we have pupils who have EHCPs, and obviously we would be really focusing on making sure that we fulfill our legal obligation and actually go beyond that, I would say, with regard to these pupils. And those who are SEN support, we also try to be very creative, I would say, in how we encapsulate the provision for them and make sure that their needs are met. What I always say is that we are not so much diagnosis-led, but we are needs-led. So if a pupil has a need, we put as many resources as we could to ensure that that child achieves the best that they can.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of resources available to us as well. We're lucky enough to have 2 SEN teachers who primarily teach our unicorns provision, which is a provision for pupils who struggle to access the mainstream curriculum. So those pupils that are suitable to go in there are decided on an individual basis in consultation with parents. They usually have an education, health and care plan, but we have some specialist SEN teachers who can also have some capacity to support both staff and children with their needs. And we also have a team of teaching assistants and some other members of staff who have some availability to be able to support pupils with their learning and with their other needs, as well as our pupil and family support team who support with the pastoral needs of the children. So we have, we've got a lot of resources that can be used depending on what the pupil requires to provide targeted interventions for those pupils.
I think that's very important what you said, Mrs. Kerridge, about pastoral support as well as academic support. We provide support, inside the classroom and help them to access their learning as best as possible, but with regard to their well-being, especially with the COVID and all those things that they might have experienced in life outside of COVID, we really think it's absolutely vital that they get that support to be able to be stable and their well-being is at their optimal potential, so that they can really go after what they need to educationally, but also in terms of friendships and social and emotional well-being and their mental health and all those things. I believe we're really strong in that area, and we really focus. We have interventions that relate to that to help them to settle in, especially even the transition, I would say. We've made quite a lot of strides in that. I think we were already good in what we were doing, but I think even now we are more robust in making sure that pupils not only transition well from their previous school, but even into classes, so from year 7 to 8, etc. So I think when we speak to the pupils who are SEN pupils and their experience, I think that would normally tell us a lot about what exactly the effect we are having on the pupils with our support. So yes.
And as well as speaking to the pupils, we communicate regularly with families. We think that's a really, really important part of the SEN provision because families know the children best. So we've always open to meeting with families and communicating however works best. So by email, on the phone, even Zoom meetings nowadays. We do like to have that input from families to find out what's going on at home as well, because we can support pupils with that, and that usually has a direct impact on what we see in school. So we see that as a vital relationship when we support all pupils, but particularly pupils who have SEND. Is there anything else that we
I
haven't
think
covered, do you
I think one of our strengths as well is that we have great relationships with our external partners,
Yes,
like
that's right.
especially the educational psychologist, who is always on the other end of the phone if necessary, either to give us advice or training or strategies that we haven't tried as yet to work with pupils. I think as a school and as a SEN department, we go all out, I would say, to make sure that we maximize and use all our resources to maximize the potential of our pupils and to make sure that they get the support that they need, and that based on the resources we have, that we can and will provide.
And I think I suppose the final thing we would say is, if you have a child who has special needs or any additional needs, or you just want to have a chat about how we might meet a particular need that your child has, then please do get in touch with us by email or on the phone, and we're more than happy to discuss individual cases. And in fact, we think it's really important that we know about the pupils as early as possible, because we have good links with our feeder schools, and obviously we have our primary school here, so we can go and get to know those pupils ahead of time. So we encourage you to get in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.